Hi Aquarius, my sun sign brothers and sisters, welcome to your year ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. For those of you that supported me through 2019, 2018, 2017, for those of you that are hardcore ride or dies that have been with me from the beginning in 2016, gosh, it seems like so long ago now. I just want to say a heartfelt thank you so much for all of your support, for everything that you guys do for me, from your comments to your donations, all of it. It really does mean the absolute world to me. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. With that said, I would like to bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help us on our paths to our highest vibrational good. Just to note, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, personal year ahead reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. If you would like to get a future life progression or a past life regression session with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. So let's have a look what 2020, right? It's not just a new year, it is a brand new decade. And I believe it was Bill Gates that said people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10, right? So really take a moment to think about what that means to you. Our first card out to set the tone of the energy for the year ahead, destiny card, direction card for each month, is the Tower. So this is going to be a year of shocks, surprises. It's going to be a year of changes. The structure of your life is going to change. The structure of your outlook is going to change. The structure of your life itself is subject to change. This card represents Uranus. I mean, in this deck they say Mars, but I don't feel that energy from the Tower card. I never have. It's always been Uranus to me. And it will always be that, right? Uranus is in Taurus at the moment and will be there for at least another 5 years yet. And this is our ruler, right? It's our modern co-ruler. And the Tower card itself brings shake-ups, changes. Sometimes it can spell big upheavals, but it's always the process that we go through towards liberation, right? And the reason the Tower works that way is because sometimes when we learn something that is shocking about ourselves, about somebody else, about some aspect of our life, sometimes it really does upset the apple cart. And very often the moment of the Tower is uncomfortable, but in hindsight you look at it and you say, wow, you know what, that was a moment of total liberation. And very often the Tower crumbles whatever is the known, whatever is the structure, whatever is outdated, whatever is too rigid or too traditional. The Tower wants to bring it down, right? And one of the things that I always say about the Tower card is it's the cracking of illusions, right? So here in January, straight out the gate, we've got that, especially for those of you that are ascendant Aquarians. You've got this big conjunction that's taking place here in your 12th house, right? As Aquarians, we still have it in the 12th house from the sun sign perspective, but those of you that have an Aquarius ascendant will probably feel this really heavily. So let's give it some context. Let's see what January has in store for us. The first card out sets the tone, right? And it basically says that your life is going to be wonderfully but ruthlessly edited by the universe. And if you can learn to work with that energy, I mean, Aquarians love anything spontaneous, quirky, out the box, all of the rest of it. We tend to work really well, even though we are a fixed sign, we tend to work well with the energy. We think well on our feet, so we have that to our advantage. But yeah, this year is gonna completely rewrite your life in some way, shape or form. So Two of Cups. This could be a surprise connection coming in. For some of you in January, you could be meeting somebody that completely blows your socks off. You could be, for those of you that are single, this could see you meeting somebody that really resonates with you at a beautiful level. Somebody that is, this could be a new relationship. It could be a new partner that comes in, especially for those of you that are single. For those of you that are partnered, these two together, it could spell out you could be with somebody and also find somebody else very attractive, and you could find yourself being really drawn to this person, in which case it presents the opportunity for you to look at the current relationship that you're in. You guys know me by now, I call it like I see it, right? And especially with my own sign, because come on, right? This is going to present you with the opportunity to look at the current relationship, whether it's a partnership, whether it's a marriage, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever. It's going to give you an opportunity to look at the current relationship and ask yourself, okay, is this really going in the way that is best for both of us? Is it something that I truly see myself aligned with? Or is the reason that I'm being drawn to this person because this has now come to its natural conclusion? Or is it that my current relationship is stagnant, is going through a rough patch or whatever, and so I'm drawn to somebody that, it could create that sort of triangulation kind of energy. It could really bring that in the harmonious way on a personal level. This, on a professional level, this could be a collaboration across the airwaves. It could be you collaborating with somebody across the seas. Uranus has a very Aquarian sort of slant to it, so it could be over the internet. It could be you collaborating with another business owner on something to do with your business and their business, and it could really grow legs and run away with itself. Obviously, all of this is going to be... tap just started chucking out water. Okay, so obviously it's going to be subject to your personal experience, and also because the Tower is those shocking realizations, you could have a shocking realization or insight to your own relationship, into your relationship that you have. If you're not in a relationship, it could be about the type of relationship that you want. But like I said, if you're single, the chances are that you could be meeting somebody here right at the beginning of the year. So as we come into, for those of you that celebrate in January, happy birthday at the end of January. For those of you that are what I call true blue Aquarians, just because, February, that's a bit biased, naughty Raffy. And I think it's because I'm bang in the centre. I'm like the 14th degree of Aquarius is where my sun is, so I'm right in the middle. Okay. So when you celebrate your birthday, your solar return, you want to fill the day of your solar return with a little bit of everything that you want that year to have in it for you. So for me personally, I'm going to go out with friends. I'm going to go for a good meal. I'm going to maybe even go out dancing. I'm going to read. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to do some exercise. I'm literally going to fill my day with a little bit of everything that I want that year to hold for me. All right. So February, we get the Justice card. It looks like you're making a big decision here. This could be where you are signing a contract. It looks like for some of you, we've talked about this with the relationship. This could be where you decide to part ways with a current partner. It could be where you are, saying to yourself, okay, you know what, this thing has reached its conclusion and now I'm making that decision. The thing about the Justice card, because the Lovers card represents choice as well, but Justice represents you taking a specific path, which is why it talks about signing contracts and whatnot. But a big contract could be shaping up for you. For some of you, you might decide spontaneously that you actually want to marry the person that you're with. It can work that way as well. There's definitely that scope for the energy, but with this Justice card, it does suggest that there is a big decision being made or a contract being signed. Let's have a look at what the energy is around that. Let's give it some context, and we get the Three of Swords. I call it as I see it. This is about you choosing to end something. For some of you, it could be a partnership. For others, it could be a relationship. For some of you, this could be the end of a legal battle or situation that you might have found yourselves in that was kind of lingering as of 2019. So whatever it is that kind of was happening at the end of the year then, you could see that here in February, it comes to fruition and, you can finally let it go. But it does look like something is coming to an end, whether it's A contract could be coming to an end. It could be a marriage that's coming to an end, a partnership that's coming to an end. For a select few of you, this would probably be something to do with your work. That's definitely a possibility. So, you know, have a look, see what it works out for you. I mean, the fact that you've got the Three of Swords on the Justice card, though, this is about a conscious decision, right? I always see the Three of Swords, even if it is painful, it's always a conscious choice. It's a decision to move past it. And because you're doing it through the guise of the Justice card, this is about you making the right decision. It's about saying, you know what, this is the best thing to do for everybody involved. March, we get the Fool card, right? So it's kind of like that February energy is kind of like a peak culmination or end point. Whereas in March, this is a brand new beginning. The Fool card is, again, it's very Aquarian because it has that kind of Aquarian-like energy. In fact, the Fool card and the Tower are two sort of halves of the same whole. That's the way that I see them. You know, they're both very Aquarian energies. Whereas the Tower tends to be something quite shocking and sometimes, you know, brings the upheaval. The Fool card tends to bring you a blessing that you don't really realise how big of a blessing it is at the time. New things, new places, new people, new stimuli. Something big, something new is entering your life now. And this is a great, great energy. Let's see what it might pertain to. Let's give it some context. What are you bringing us, Fool card? What is it that you're welcoming into our lives? We're welcoming judgment, right? So for some of you, whatever or whoever you're deciding to leave, you might find that in March they're saying to you, look, you know what, I can change, we can make it better. If you're leaving a job, expect a counter offer. Just as I said that, the timer set to 11:11. So this is a big point, because the thing about the Judgment card, it's a grand clearing of the decks before you take a big step forward or a big step upward. And the fact that this is on top of the Fool card, this really does for me spell out, and this is around a Mercury retrograde as well, this really spells out for me some sort of opportunity from your past. It could be that an old boss gets in touch, an old partner gets in touch, an old friend gets in touch. It looks like an opportunity to take a step backward but stepping forward and upward. Could be that you go back to a company that you used to work for but in a higher position. It's that kind of energy, you know, like really interesting. But yeah, if you are leaving something in February/March, expect counter offers. Expect somebody to kind of finally pull their finger out. But I got to be honest with you, when an Aquarian walks, once we've made our mind up, once we decide to walk, wild horses, hell and high water couldn't hold us in place. You know, once we're out the door, we're done. That is it. You know, Aquarians are one of the few signs that once they say I'm done, that's it. They don't go backward. I mean, it's the sign of the future. Forward progression always. April, we have the Tree of Life, right? And look at this. I'm so excited. Right, and the reason I'm so excited is because this card for me, yes, it represents the process of creation, but I see this card and it's an extra card in this specific deck. So there's 23 major arcana. What this card represents for me is divine intervention. So it's kind of like whatever or whoever shows up for you in March could really set you on this amazing, I mean, you'll see it, whatever or whoever the Fool card represents for you in March, whatever it is that makes its way into your life, it could seem at the time as not much, but when you see April, you'll be like, oh my gosh, like this has actually lined up this amazing thing for me. There's divine intervention taking place in our lives in April, where something truly spectacular and amazing happens for us. Let's have a look and give it some context. What is going on here? The Six of Cups, there's definitely someone or something coming back from your past, right? You've got the Judgment card there, always a blast from the past in some way, shape or form. You've got the Six of Cups here on top of the Tree of Life. This really does feel for me, for a lot of you, like someone or something truly special is coming back into your life, because the Six of Cups represents your past, but it's your happy memories, it's the nostalgic memories. It's, you know, when sometimes you go off into a daydream and you think, oh, you know what, I remember that person that I dated and how much fun we had, or I remember, like, there's probably only really two friends of mine that I no longer speak to, that I sometimes have like little moments where I think about them and I think, oh, you know, man, yeah, we had some crazy moments, but we had so many really great times. It could bring a friend back into your life, but in a really big way. And because it's coming with that Tree of Life card, this is a divine intervention. This is the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, bringing someone back into your life that can be truly beneficial for you, that could really end up supporting a big dream, that could really help you make a big step forward or a big advancement. And because it comes through the Six of Cups, this might be you maybe striking it lucky in some sort of arena or sector, or with a dream that you long put down, right? I'll give you an example. So I'm not sure if many of you know this, but you will now. I used to do performing arts. So for me, this could be somebody getting in touch and saying, oh, you know, Raf, we need an extra body for something, for a project that we're doing. Yeah, why not? You know, I'm not looking to be famous, but it's something that's divinely directed. It could be a dream job that you once thought about that you really wanted to do. It could be something that you wanted to study. There's something here in March and April that is coming back into your life, and it's making a very big re-entrance into your life. It's almost like fate, God, the universe putting something, pulling back something into your life that's going to make you go, wow. And it really is a wow moment. It's something that you never could have expected, you know, like I love this energy. I absolutely love it. May, we've got the Hanged Man, right? So May is a month for you to take it easy. May is a month for you to reassess, reevaluate where you're at now that this new thing, new person, whatever it is come, and this is the thing, I say it's new, but it's not, right? It's coming back into your life from a time gone by. The Hanged Man here sees May being quite a spiritual month. It sees you taking your time with everything. May is not a month for you to rush. It's a month for you to be slow, steady. It's a month for you to really assess and evaluate how you feel. It's a month for you to really detach from everything emotionally, and that's not a difficult thing for us Aquarians. Most people say we don't have a heart, when actually that's not the truth. I think the truth of it for me personally is Aquarians are the water bearer, right? What does water represent? Water represents knowledge, but it also represents emotions. It also represents life. We carry those emotions on our back, so we can look at it and say, wow, you know, sometimes this shit can get messy, right? So we have that natural ability to detach from it, right? We carry it on our backs. That doesn't necessarily mean that we immerse ourselves in it, right? So Aquarians are very good at detaching emotionally when they need to be. May looks like a month where you're doing that because you want to unburden yourself. May could be a really good month for you to see a counsellor. It could be a great month for you to you know, go to psychotherapy, to go to counselling. It could be a really good month for you to do some self-analysis, to do some self-searching, to do some spiritual work is a brilliant month for it as well. For a select few of you, this could be about a move. This looks like you really are moving from one place to another. For some of you, you might be moving back to a place that you've lived in before. For some of you, it's almost like the universe is saying, in May, you don't have to do anything, right? All of the stuff and the connections and the people and possibly even the finances that you need will show up in March and April. I will do the rest, right? So May, you're just kind of going with the flow. Allow it to happen in the way that it's supposed to, right? Let the universe take you and put you where you are supposed to be. So as we get into the middle of the year, we've got the Empress card, got that abundance flow, got that money, that you know, all of the beautiful things of life. You start the summer really strong. I mean, this is beautiful. There's lots of abundance and energy here, but the feeling that I get from it is it's almost like the Empress is saying to you, what do you want? What do you want to create, right? It's all subject to change, and there's going to be so much of it this year. You work with the energy of change and spontaneity probably better than most. So you know what do you want? What do you want to create? This is, you know, the Empress is Venus, and she basically says to you, what does your earthly pleasure look like? What is it that when you think of abundance and happiness and prosperity and joy and sensuality, what are the things that come to mind? Those are the things that you can welcome into your life in June. Beautiful. All right, so let's have a look. Let's give it some context. What's coming up here? The Ace of Wands, right? So June is a month for conception. If you want another child, if you want a child, June is a very fertile month for you. It's a great month to get started on health regimes. It's a brilliant month for you to get started on a new diet. An excellent month for writing, speaking publicly. You're received really well. You will be feeling very beautiful. You'll be feeling very you'll be feeling yourself in June, right? To be quite frank, you'll be really having the most pleasurable time of it. You know, this is about sexuality, sensuality, enjoyment, fun, really living the earthly experience. This could be a month where you could take it a little too far though. This could be a month where you could end up really overindulging. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, it looks like a lot of fun to be had in June, which is fantastic. So in July, you got the Emperor, right? So for some of you, this could be about going to school. For others, this could be about, you know, you aligning yourself with a specific institution. I mean, really interesting because you've got the Empress there and you've got the Emperor here. So June and July, again, are going to be other months that kind of bring you peak power experiences. Now, also with that July, this March, July and November, I think, are all Mercury retrograde months, right? So the Mercury retrogrades are in the water signs this year. So those are going to be interesting ones for sure. This Emperor card, it might see you, for some of you, it could see that you're connecting with a father figure or a boss. You might be, you know, collaborating with a boss, working with a boss. Let's give it some context and see what it comes up as. The Devil card, right? So yeah, you could be having, for some of you could be having issues with a father figure, parental figure. For some of you could be having issues with a boss, you know, somebody that's in a position of authority. Now, because it is the Devil card, this could see you really tightly holding on to how you view somebody. Hello, my beautiful people. I'm so sorry about that. My parcel arrived. The beauties of shopping online and working from home, eh? But yeah, it looks like your one of the things that I was saying is it looks like your viewpoint of somebody may shift here in July. It might be that you have, it might be that you're having a realization about who somebody is or how they actually are. Now, like I said, this could be a parental figure, but it could also be a boss. So, you know, if you work for somebody else, if you're not your own boss, just keep in mind that July, somebody might reveal themselves to be not who you thought they were. You know how you thought they could be compared to how they actually are. This could be a very shocking or changeable energy. It could be, for some of you, you might have a run-in with a parent figure, you know, likely a father figure, uncle, that sort of thing. Interesting, because July looks to be quite intense for a lot of signs. And I've said that throughout. I mean, it's so yeah. Anyway, August, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. All right, so we're back on the good times, baby. All right, which I absolutely love. It does suggest that this is a month of synchronicities. This will be a month of fast-paced changes. It will be a month where literally things just seem to show up. They just kind of seem to drop in your lap. There's a lot of protection for us this year because Jupiter moving into the sign of Capricorn, especially for those of you that are an ascendant. Aquarius, it offers a protection from the other side. So this month, I mean the month of August especially, you could really feel this, but permeating the whole year, there could be some moments where people are like, damn, you came out of that really lucky, or you came out of that like unscathed, you know, in a good way and a challenging way. You know, it could be that, you know, maybe you have a near miss with something and people are like, damn, you did all right. And then others could be, you know, it could be like, oh my gosh, like how lucky are you that you got this. So yeah, definitely interesting for sure. Then you've got the Six of Swords, right, on top of the Wheel of Fortune. So this is about moving away from whatever difficulty you have in July. It ends in July, right? It ends in July. It may carry over to August, but it looks like whatever results you're having in August, your results are better than expected. You know, what you get or how you proceed, it's kind of like, wow, okay, you know what, that's pretty awesome. So it's great. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, the other thing is as well, for some of you, this is a travel month. August is the month where you're traveling. It's the month where you're going to see pastures anew, so to speak, which is fantastic. Your September, you've got the Temperance card, right? So September offers you some opportunities to really look at what it is that you want to change, right? So July and June rather, and September will be the months where you can really make some conscious driven changes, right? September, you're getting a glimpse into the way that things are shaping up, and more importantly, why. It will see you really starting to understand the process of alchemy, right? Let's give it some context. It looks like you're finding some sort of balance here as well. It may be that you're finally, you know, being able to balance other people's wants and needs with your own as well. That's definitely a possibility. And it comes with the Seven of Cups, right? So as a direction, the Seven of Cups is asking you to streamline things. And the Temperance card is basically saying to you, what is a priority? What are the choices that you need to make now in order to get you to where you'd like to be? What are the changes that you need to make now in order to streamline your life, in order to have more time for yourself, in order to have more enjoyment, in order to, you know, whatever it is. This is basically asking you to go through the process of starting to streamline and eliminate any of the impurities. That's what alchemy is, right? It's turning base metals into gold. So it's something that you'll be looking at over the course of September for sure. October, you've got the Star card. This is us. This is our energy, right? The Star card represents the sign of Aquarius. And here in October, this gives you a lot of power. It gives you an amazing outlook. This is where you're really planning something big for the future. October could be a month where you're really starting to, so September, you're streamlining things. It's almost like you're laying the prep, right? You're doing the foundation work in order to start moving towards a very big goal here in October. And October will see you having that glimpse into the future to say, right, okay, you know what, I kind of see where I'm going with this now. I see what it can be, right? This is where you start to see how something can shape up. It also suggests that you could be working online. You could, you know, maybe you're starting a YouTube channel. You know, it's definitely a possibility. Let's give it some, you know, some context. And we'll get the Page of Pentacles. If you've ever had a business idea for a side hustle, if you've ever had an idea of something that you wanted to create, a big project that you wanted to work on, October is the month for you to get started. The energy is there for you laying the groundwork. The energy is there for you to do this thing and to do it well. And it looks like whatever you're starting in October will be with you for a long time. Page of Pentacles, earth energy, slow moving but long distance. The Star card, right, is a glimpse into the future. Very often it represents periods of, I think it's like 17 to 19 years into the future. So whatever you're starting or creating here or releasing here in October, it will be something that you're doing, working with, or doing for a long time to come. And because it is the Star card, this could be something to do with an online business. It could be you starting a, you know, like I said, it could be a YouTube channel. It could be that you start selling products online. It could be that you start giving talks, you know, all of that sort of stuff. Now, To take it outside of that, for some of you, this could very well be you aligning with, you aligning with more prosperity for your future. It could be you working with or working alongside people that have the same goals, that have the same wants and needs and outcomes. That, whatever outcome it is that you're looking for, you're aligning with people and energies that match that. Excuse me. Beautiful. All right, let's have a look at this, the November. I was going to say the Scorpio season. So we got the Judgment card, right? So we get the card that represents Pluto in the sign of Scorpio. So this is really powerful in its implications and its energies. This will be a month of deep transformation, and it will be a month because look, whatever it is that you're starting in October is going to require a lot of your time, a lot of your patience, a lot of your grit. It might see your social circle change. Then here in November, energy shift. Here in November, you've got the Judgment card, which is bringing you this absolute shift in perspective, this new understanding, this new way of doing things. But like I said before, it's a grand clearing of the decks, right? It's interesting that you've got the Judgment card twice in a season that represents a water sign, right? So these water signs are probably going to be your most challenging times of the year. So March, July and November are going to be the times that could, actually not so much March. I mean, March just brings you something completely, it's like a total curveball. It could be something that takes you completely out of your comfort zone. It could be something that completely takes you out of your environment, so to speak, as well. July, excuse me. All right, July could be the real challenging month, and here in November it looks like there's a big transformation taking place, and it could be as well that there's another blast from the past. Now, this Judgment card here in November, I feel like this will be somebody in business. It might be somebody that sees what you're now doing and says, oh wow, do you want to collaborate? It might be somebody that you've reached out to before that you wanted to collaborate with and kind of just got air or ignored or whatever, and they could be coming to you now. It's up to you whether you take the invite or not, of course. To give it some context, it's the Nine of Wands, right? So this also gives you a moment to speak. So whatever issue you might have had here in July, you might have to wait until November in order to get your side of the story across. This does look like November does look like a challenging month, but it might be where you finally get to speak your truth, where you finally get your moment to say, right, now that you've come back around, let's look at some facts, and that's the thing about the Aquarians, boy. I tell you, I always say that the signs that you never want to read you to filth are the water signs and the air signs, because the water signs will go in straight into that chink in your emotional armor and they will decimate you, and the air signs will just straight up deal with the facts, and when you come away from it you're like, oh, I feel personally attacked. So in November, keep it factual, right? Don't do what you do best and don't get emotional about it. December, got the Sun card. I love this, right? Because it means that we finish the year on a high. I mean, we start the year on a high. It's just not, not necessarily a conventional one. Now, the Sun card in December is bringing you blessings and life and light and joy and happiness and optimism. But it's also bringing you some possible advancement. It could bring you some form of travel. Your travel months are going to be likely March, August and December. December looks really nice for travel, actually. Maybe you're getting some winter sun. I will say yes to that all day long. Beautiful. Let's give it some context and see what it might relate to. And we get the Hanged Man, right? So December is a month where you are taking it easy. You are literally just chilling the month of December. And this Hanged Man with the Sun card means that you could be having a big self-illumination. You could be having a big spiritual insight month here. You could really be raising the vibration of your consciousness and understanding some stuff in ways that you never have before. The beauty of this is as well, I think it is in December, Saturn, our traditional ruler, moves into our sign for good. No more retrograding back into Capricorn, no more 12th house stuff. It comes into the sign of Aquarius. And so when it goes through your 12th house, I observed this when I saw it happen to the Capricorns while it was going through Sagittarius. The Capricorns went through absolute decimation, and I was like, oh crap. And then when I realized that actually when it goes into Capricorn, that's going to kind of be like my 12th house, and I really did start to panic. And and it's been intense up until now. It looks like 2020 is going to have its own intensity, but what I've seen is those Capricorns on the other side of it, it's almost like what they're going to have now is the total, because it's now in their sign, so it gives them that structure back. It gives them that energy to rebuild whatever it is that's been torn down, because whatever it is that's been torn down has been brought to that foundation level so that you can build on terra firma. So when Saturn comes back into the sign of Aquarius in December, I believe it is, that's going to give us, right, that's when we rebuild who we are, and that's who we're going to be from here on in, right? It's like whatever changes you've made over the course of the year, whatever's come at us this year, whatever's been there for us, has all been for the highest good, or has all been for the best experience of life that we could hope for. And then with the Hanged Man, I mean, May and December look like very spiritual months as well. And permeating this whole thing is a shift and a change in consciousness, a shift and a change in understanding who you are, what's taking place. The Hanged Man on top of the Sun card could bring you really a lot of spiritual illumination, and it could really give you a glimpse. It could really give you a glimpse at how truly amazing your life could be. But it does ask you to be open to whatever the possibilities are, because the Hanged Man is a Pisces / Neptune card. And aside from, it's not always about fog and smoke and mirrors. Neptune is actually about transcendence. It's about true spirituality, about true faith, true ascension, right? Truly surpassing anything that tried to hold you back or tried to hold you down. Now, Neptune also rules television. And the fact that we've got the Sun card here, you could be getting a feature, you could be seen out in the world in some way, shape or form. You could be presented in some way, shape or form. This person that's coming back in November, and it looks like, this is going to be a year of blasts from the past. And it's interesting because we step into a new year, we step into a new decade, and we've got like loads of this past energy taking place. I know a lot of Aquarians right now are like, oh, really? So yeah, interesting. With that Hanged Man there, it does really look like you could be coming to the fore. And the beauty of it is everything that's happened this year has given you the energy, the impetus, the understanding of self to be in the best place to be put forward, to be put on the wider world stage. And the reason I say that is because, sometimes when you're thrust into the limelight, people kind of only take the bits of you that they want to put out there, because it sells or whatever. Whereas it looks like you're in total command of yourself here in December, and it's because of the year that you've had. Your key to the year that you need to know is the Hanged Man. That's 3 times now. The Hanged Man, the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man, right? Take it easy. Consider this whole year a lesson in detachment. Consider this whole year, right? You do what Aquarians do best. Take the emotion out of the situation. Whatever changes come up, know they are for your highest good. Know that this year is changing and transforming you into exactly what you need to be to have everything that you have ever hoped for, wished for, or worked towards. This can be a truly fantastic year for you. It is going to be one of changes, of upheaval, of completely rewriting who you are, what your lifescape and life path are about. But I truly believe it can be an amazing and actually an abundant one. All right, so I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Take care. Have a fantastic year, should I say. Take care, and I will see you soon.